Hello everyone and welcome to the back nine of round number 2 at the Throwdown the Mountain 7, presented by Discraft and Sun King Disc. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, along with Simon Lizotte. This is SimonTerry. Is that going to stick?
I hope so, because it makes total sense. It is hilarious and clever at the same time. So we are back here, back nine, round 2, still excited, and this tournament can only get better.
Yeah, we're at exactly at the halfway point actually, as we're 27 out of 54 holes in, bearing any kind of playoff. And I want to thank Simon. This is actually, with all the timing and the release of these videos, Simon is doing 3 rounds of commentary in the matter of about 16 hours. So thank you so much for joining between here and Jomez, splitting your time as we move to hole 10, which is just, well, not pleasant in my opinion. We saw some struggling yesterday and I can't imagine it got any easier today.
Yeah, hole 10 is the 4th most difficult hole on the course. Only 7% birdies, 35% bogey or worse. So if you find yourself off the fairway, scrambling on this hole is especially hard because the fairway is very, very tight.
So you paused, you pulled back. What was it? Was there a distraction or something else?
It was sweat on my hand. Like when I was gripping the disc, I could feel it a bit being slick. So I kind of like re-dirted my hand, if that's a word.
No, definitely re-dirted. There's a German conversion somewhere in there. And we saw Randon come up short and right. You had a pretty solid approach. Did you think it was a little long there, or were you
No, I knew it was absolutely perfect. Yeah, just a little side information here. You see all the players wearing a little white wristband. This is not the new pro disc golfer style. This is required to be able to play this tournament on this property because, for what reason exactly?
Well, it has everything to do with liability. So this is private property that Mike Barnett spends a lot of money to actually rent for these tournaments, anytime events are held out here. And so it goes along with saying that you've signed the waiver, the liability waiver, and then that also means that you're essentially good to go. And that you've been checked in correctly at the gate and all that stuff. So that's why you see or in Chris Dickerson's case yesterday, he wore it like an ankle bracelet.
Yes.
But not an ankle bracelet. So that's what you're seeing out here. And Chris, understandably, said he just doesn't like anything on his wrist, and that one leaks out on the left side for Dustin. And he said he doesn't wear a watch or anything on his wrist whatsoever, which is why he actually put it around his ankle. So there's that little ankle kick, leg kick by Big Jerm we saw in the first round.
Yep. I got a little kick there too.
Oh, that's cute. So hole 10 for the second day in a row gives up no birdies on the card I'm covering, and we're going to move to the new hole 11 tee, 550 feet, a very, very thin gap that you need to hit straight on. Simon came up a little bit short yesterday and was challenged by that right side hill, and instead you want to get it out there clean, hopefully get up and down. You should be able to walk away with a 3 here.
Yeah, this hole is one of the easiest hole on the entire course. It's a pretty short downhill par 4, and as I'm looking at the stats, I have to give a shout out to Cody Larson, who has so far been the only person to 2 this hole.
Spoiler, bro.
Well,
what about Cody's? Okay, maybe not.
I don't think he's been on camera.
All right,
Whoa.
What are you doing? You know the fairway's right in front of you, right?
This throw was a result of Jeremy Koling talking me into doing something crazy. I guess he was bored with his own game and my game, so this was kind of to cheer us all up and get us going for the back nine.
A couple of pretty good looking shots here.
Yeah, Dustin throwing only a mid-range, and that held the line forever, gave him all the glide he could ever ask for, and put himself into like the ideal position to get a really easy birdie.
That's all right. I'll be all right, Don.
And I think Randon should be pretty happy with that result from where we thought he could have hit much earlier. And he's almost trying to ring it up in 2 and get the fairway ace.
Great upshot.
Oh my God, dude. Lucky. Oh, not lucky.
Oh, I love listening to myself. Asking for luck is already pretty sad.
If that's what you have to rely on.
Yes.
I mean, you were in really good position, so to see you not take advantage of it again is just too bad. But Big Jerm's got a really long lunge at it. I thought for a minute he was going to ring it up. And this, you still have a look at birdie.
Yep. Really
No
tried to
problem.
make this one. It's just so frustrating to give it such a good run and then see it like trickle out by an inch. Just like, why didn't you just try a bit harder? Like, it's so hard to explain all the mental aspects of this game. But after a great upshot, Randon has his chance for birdie 3. Yeah, after kind of a not ideal drive, hitting one of the early trees as well, he's probably stoked about that birdie. Jerm tapping birdie, Dustin tapping birdie, and I lose another, just like yesterday, another stroke on the whole card on this hole. All you can do is shake your head sometimes.
Sometimes. Well, let's see if you can shake the double bogey off that you had here on 12 yesterday. I'm going to move down to the catch position. These drone previews brought to you by Jomez Pro. Thank you guys, and congrats on the 100,000 subscribers. 315 feet. This sets up really well for a forehand thrower. If you're good at throwing one, the righty forehand throw is ideal here. And this plays up into the right. You can't tell it as much with the drone footage that there is a little bit of a hill that it plays up to. Very slight elevation at the very end.
Yeah, Jerm definitely qualifies as very good at sidearm, and I would kind of disagree with you, what you said, that it lines up great for sidearm. I don't think it lines up great for anything. It kind of relies on getting lucky, honestly. If you want to park this hole, you have to hit a gap you can't really aim for. The open gap that Randon here hits perfectly, this was the perfect sidearm. The ideal sidearm that hits the widest gap, and he is 40 feet.
Well, I see on the tee you're going Skamahawk, and it hits and lands, and I accidentally hit stop record, and then I saw it bounce again, so I hit it again, but
I would have
you
liked
park
to
it.
see. Yeah, I would have loved to see how it got there. After my 5, I was just thinking in my head, how can I, at all costs, avoid hitting the first tree? And I thought, if I throw over it, I definitely won't hit it.
Okay, that's a
So
fair.
that's how I solved that problem, and it turned out to be the play.
Yeah, just throw up and over it.
Sure, I'm looking at a outside the circle 40 feet, I'd give that.
Yeah, it at least throws that with elevation, and somehow he just squeaks it in. I feel like if some of these baskets, some people may see a few slip out on them, but I think a few also sneak in from time to time like that by Big Jerm. Yours, on the other hand, all chain and a 3-stroke improvement. You can't say that too often.
No, I was very happy. I was still, it's so hard to shake off frustration within one hole. So I was still a bit annoyed at my last hole that I wasn't able to birdie that. But of course, I'm ready to leave that behind and pick up pace from here.
Not too bad. We're going to move over to hole number 13. This is the first of 2 par 5s. You got to get up over that ledge, but you don't want to get the nose of the disc up in the air too much because it may hyzer off. You have a Mando to be concerned with, and then most people will probably take this line out and around to the left and maybe fight back to the basket, whether that's a roller or something that turns over on your second shot. And then it's tucked in. So this hole is backed up throughout the years. It continues to get longer and longer.
so lucky, but wow.
Hmm. Okay.
You can't say something that funny.
No, dude. I'm trying not to laugh myself while you're throwing.
So what Kobe said was, he said, good drive or nice drive after Jerm's throw, which was everything but nice drive.
Uh-huh.
So the sarcasm in that just got to me and I couldn't help but laugh.
Looks like your shot should be just fine. Here's Dustin, and that's really good power. I just feel like he had that up in the air a little bit more than you need. And I think everyone just wants to make sure they for sure clear the shelf there, but you want to keep this a little bit lower if you can. And okay, like that.
Yeah, Dustin and Randon showed us, me and Jerm here, exactly how it's done, both in different styles.
What are you gonna say? About what? What was really fun about being a kite, Kobe?
Nothing really. Much rather
Why did I
play
expect you to say anything that's different?
anything other than caddying. It's only for you though.
Wow, those two are adorable.
Very, very fun to watch.
So Big Jerm has really prime position here. I think he was discussing whether it was going to be a Wraith or a different disc, but he went with the Wraith. And I mean, great flight, but he could have used maybe a little more stability. Or
Yeah,
not?
doesn't really matter. He's not going for eagle here. He's just playing for 4, and if you're 20 or 30 feet left or right, doesn't matter too much.
And your footing was a little weird. You kind of were right on the downslope.
Yeah, I was going for that gap to the left of that double tree. I almost hit it perfectly, but just grip locked it ever so slightly.
Heads up! Right behind you!
That duck came in a little late. Well,
Yeah,
his head's still attached, so I guess everyone's okay.
Dustin's finding himself on hole 11 there.
Oh my god. Nutty man. Oh my gosh. Hit and stick.
So there was a clarification, and what a shot by Randon there. First, let's look at this.
Look at my arms. Everything is wrapped.
Everything is scratched.
Can I jump up this far? I think so.
I can do this where I have my foot behind it and then.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
I don't know what I'm thinking. Sorry. It's not your turn yet. Not my turn? You got it's only 350.
All right.
I can't believe you filmed that.
People love seeing the little in-between action. And that comes up short and left.
Yeah, he had a little extra double gallery there, which was probably exciting for him because Paul Macbeth's lead card, was at that time on that hole.
Wow, what do you call that move?
I don't know, honestly. The first time I saw it was a couple of years ago, and it inspired me. Like, you can plant your foot in front of your mini and then just lift it right as you throw, and then with your back foot behind the mini, you're still good. So that was the technique I used there to stay out of those bushes. And Dustin for birdie. Good run. You can't really be too disappointed at a run like that.
Wow, and there's the eagle.
Yeah,
So
perfect
impressive.
drive, and then a nutty upshot.
And that was the clarification that needed to be made. We weren't sure if nutty or naughty was the term that Big Jerm used, but
I
maybe
think both is extremely appropriate for that shot.
And you're still walking away with a birdie from one knee. That's you'll take that.
Yeah, I got a bit lucky there on my third shot that kind of missed that tree and trickled through to give myself a pretty easy look for birdie. Jerm, besides the misfired drive, which turned out to be good enough, he played this hole perfectly. And Dustin with the par 5.
Randon, but it's all right.
That's a good point.
All right, moving on to hole 14, over 1,000 feet, plays downhill off the tee shot, but then it's a gradual incline the rest of the way. If you've played here in the past, this is actually 2 holes combined as we're taking a look at it, and he pushed it back even further from what we've seen. Another par 5. Not too often you're on a course where you see back-to-back par 5s.
No, I think it's really cool, especially because it never caused backups. The flow of this tournament has been very nice so far. It has allowed these late tee times to get in before dark.
Oh, don't!
That was doing it.
Yeah, it was.
And that drive was looking great, but it sadly got a weird kind of flare off a branch. And Jerm not trusting his backhand almost at all anymore and choosing to go sidearm here.
Now, even if his backhand is on 100%, do you still feel like he goes forehand there, or
If I remember correctly, on his round 1 Jomez commentary, I think he also threw a sidearm I saw there. But I've watched too many shots to remember every specific shot.
And that one turns over a little bit too flippy, you were saying, or you were surprised at how much it flipped.
Yeah, when I released it, I thought I threw it perfect and was a bit disappointed to see it.
Yeah, that's pretty, baby. Oh, yeah.
Great drive by Dustin as this hole plays just a little bit over par at 5.15 is how the field ultimately is playing it. And
Yeah, this is definitely the longer and tougher par 5. It's really crucial to keep it in the middle here.
That's good.
And yeah, where he is, it leaves himself for like a 400, maybe 450 uphill upshot.
Seamer.
And I was really surprised to see you just push that one so far left and that hard.
Yeah, I
just
wanted
need a
to
little
be
less power.
left. Well, I wanted to be left to give myself a hyzer upshot from there because I knew I had the distance. And I can see myself in the background being extremely frustrated.
Turn.
And Jerm almost getting the perfect angle on this, giving him an eagle look. He still has an eagle look. He's probably 50, maybe even 60 feet out.
Flip. Get flat.
And had that flipped, I think it would have been spot on. It looked like he had more than enough power, but he needed to get up and have it turn over for a little bit and ride it.
Yeah, the reason they're kind of short left is because all the danger on this hole is on the right side. If you turn it over too much, you're more than likely to go out of bounds and just lose instant strokes.
And you talked about playing the hyzer here. Hmm.
I was shocked.
Go to that disc. See the basket? I hyzered it too tight.
I mean, you
Ow.
stayed out of the OB. Were you
Yeah,
thinking
but
about it?
My goal was to hyzer it as tight as possible. And I ended like 60 left.
Well,
Too tight.
Doesn't it look impossible? Literally, too hyzer it there. I don't know. I'm done.
oh, the thoughts in your head as we move through the second half of this round number 2. And Randon oh no, look at that. So that bush is actually out of bounds. He bounced off the bush, which is OB, and back into the fairway. So that definitely saved him a stroke there.
Yeah, that was very fortunate after misfire.
Thanks.
And Dustin has a long look for eagle here. This would be a highlight reel. Get there.
To the hay bale. That was a pretty solid run.
This is a pretty intimidating run.
Good lap.
Thanks, Terry.
Wow, cameraman heckle.
That's what I do. If I didn't know you guys so well, I wouldn't do it. And I'm a big jerk. So you've got a great look at eagle.
Not lucky.
I think that's where I'd have to also borrow the Jomez. Is that
Yeah.
it? If I had one, or could borrow that too, along with the drone footage. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, you could see me just walking towards the basket because I knew the second I let go, I knew it was going to be perfect. Like gliding in right side, pro side. Every basket usually catches that. Dustin's still happy. But yeah, that was a bit of a heartbreaker there.
Yeah, it was. You still had the tap-in birdie as we move over to hole number 15. Thank you. And hole 15, I know I've said it before, a little bit of a change-up as well from what we've seen in the past. I think this one, some people are saying that this plays a little bit easier actually, as this has a hyzer finish to it. However, we saw Johnny McRae go into the OB on that left side yesterday, so that ledge can come into play. And I think I was showing you your putt as Big Jerm was actually getting up and ready to throw. So I got the second half of his drive.
Oh.
And it still looked pretty good.
Absolutely perfect.
And that has so much more glide than I thought that it did. I was worried that wouldn't quite get around the bend, but it did easily.
Yeah, no, Dustin put a move on that, and he needed it. You got to really throw this further than it looks. And I just completely didn't commit to that throw. And the weird and funky thing about the left side there is if you actually go hard left and through it, it's actually okay. So mine punched through pretty well, so I'm finding myself in a not so terrible spot.
And Randon says it's too long, and he was trying to be convinced otherwise by Dustin, but he was right. That was just too long and misses the gap. But you find an alley, which most people don't get to, and you take advantage. I love it. You put yourself inside 28 feet.
Yeah, that was as unlucky as the spit out was. That was so lucky to get that window I had there to attack the green, which probably 90+% of the time you won't get that break.
No, you really fought through. And a moment ago we saw Randon. Big Jerm was jumping up and down as I was staying near the basket. And he's got a pretty good look. It's a little sidearm that, oh, look at that. Plays the bank off the tree. And he's about the same distance as you.
Yeah, that was not a great that was not bad or great kick. It was just neutral. Good upshot still.
And after such a crushing drive, it's kind of surprising to see Dustin put himself 45 feet short on his approach.
He was shocked by his upshot there. He totally kind of held on to that disc for too long, and yeah, still got a chance for birdie though. On this hole, that's not bad.
Here's Randon's par attempt as he was fighting out of that right side the whole way. Oh yeah.
Another good putt. He's hit a couple of really good putts, so that's good to see.
You also take the birdie. Big Jerm just a few feet closer than you. Right now you've put together a pretty solid round thus far. You're sitting 7 under. Big Jerm sitting just 4 under on the round and 7 overall.
But looking to connect on another birdie here. His back nine has been extremely solid. Ooh.
Another one of those. We saw that on 12.
The most important thing is still laughing and having a good time and overall being very happy. And fun to play with, as always.
All right, we're going to move over to hole number 16. One of the shortest, if not the shortest hole on the entire course, I believe. Up and over the hill. It used to sit right here on top of it. It was a little bit of an ace run, actually. And then it got pushed back last year. And now it's completely blind over this hillside. I've seen no less than 4 or 5 different approaches. I think we're going to see at least 2 or 3 different approaches in this card. There's a lot of ways to attack this hole. I'm going to move up to more of a swing position.
From the tee, this looked like a potential ace run. but you can see it was a bit too short. It's hard to kind of gauge the distance. It's a completely blind shot over the ledge, and distance control is the main key on this very short par 3.
And you go Sky Heiser, which is almost impossible for me to follow through the trees, but perfect result when you land just 6 or 8 feet from the pin.
Yeah. Even if it's a small gallery, I still like to please them.
Doing it for the fans, and Randon's short right.
Wow.
Look at all these just sliding right in, and
I forgot about that one.
yeah, Dustin with another great birdie. Looked at least as long as the previous birdie putt for him. Oh no. No.
Wow. Hiccup by Randon. He called it crazy himself. That's crazy.
Guess that's one way to make up for it. That's what a great confidence
save.
booster. Yeah, good save.
If your comeback putt is longer than your initial putt, that's always tough to overcome. Great birdie by Jerm, keeping his back 9 hot.
Yeah, he momentarily, or now moves to 9 under. You're looking to keep the 2 strokes you had on him. You move to 11 under. Just 2 holes left to play. Plenty of daylight. But the tight hole number 17 coming at us. That OB on the left side the entire way. That actually parallels the par 5 that you see on hole 14. So you can't have anything cut roll and possibly go OB left. I'm going to go for a really different position. I'm going directly behind the basket. And we'll see if we can get some drives coming at me.
Yeah, this is, to me, it doesn't play as the hardest par 3, but to me this is the hardest hole to birdie. To get to this green, you gotta throw such a committed, great shot with an understable fairway driver or straight mid-range. And yeah, the OB on the right-hand side, or for the camera right-hand side, for us left-hand side, is so scary. Like you see Dustin here, early release, didn't commit at all, and no chance. And he's way up the fairway there and throwing 3.
I got a little scared there for a moment. I had to back up the camera. What a beautiful shot by Randon.
Yeah, that was precise, powerful, controlled, everything off the checklist, perfectly done.
And for those playing along at home, that was actually a Champion T-Bird. I took a look at it as it came flying in. Like yesterday, low ceiling. You were right on line, but you had a low ceiling there. And the one thing you don't want to do there is make an unforced error, hit an early tree branch, and then actually have a tester to save the par. So,
yeah, Jerm got really lucky there. He didn't throw a very good shot, but made it work. And such a fine line between what to attack and where to lay up, or yeah, glory and misery is very close to each other sometimes.
And that's really, really disheartening, as Randon threw such a beautiful drive, went past the basket, and at best he's looking at a par. That's definitely a bonus birdie. After the OB penalty, Dustin's going to take the bogey. The rest of the group looking at pars. You just give me an eye glance there?
Yeah, I think so.
You were staring me down. Got a problem? Let's go. All right, we're gonna move over to beautiful hole number 18, signature hole out here at the Grand Canyon course, thanks to Sun King and all the work. 3 weekends of PDGA events back to back to back this year. Mike Barnett and his entire crew working so hard out there. Thanks to Dwayne Reeder, our host, for both Simon and myself, and just tireless, countless hours out there on the course getting prepped along with the rest of the crew. So thank you to everyone as we're looking at this gorgeous finishing hole.
Yeah, all I can say to this hole is it potentially would make my Dream 18.
I am so sorry. Try that again.
Wait. Big Jerm's beating you up.
I fist pumped his disc instead of his fist.
Ah,
So
all right.
that was a
Well,
bit frustrating. But back to this hole, it is so unique. It's hard to say again on this camera angle, but it goes so far down this mountain, and then the cliff at the basket just looks, it's so picturesque and fun to play. So definitely special and totally worth the trip just to play this hole.
a huge shout out as you're gonna get the green flag. Huge shout out again, all the support and sponsors, along with all of the crew that's out there making this weekend happen, and also, of course, the presenting sponsor in Discraft. As we all kind of hold our breath, that one's definitely in bounds. Dustin just wants to put it down to the base of the hill as well.
Oh, that's wall. 100%.
That's wall. He said it, and it sadly was wall.
Wall being the out of bounds, so you go right to the drop zone.
Which leaves you a very tricky shot, very far. Like this is almost a full power drive to pump it up that cliff. And he finds the right side and is just short. And that entire cliff plays out of bounds, so he'll find himself at the bottom of it. And Randon almost does the same thing, but pushes through and gives himself, instead of a bogey save, a birdie look.
See Mango Steve up there doing double duty playing, and then you go just past or left side basket. And
Yep,
Big
trying
Jerm,
to
great
adjust.
position.
Trying to adjust from yesterday, just as Jerm. Jerm actually made the same mistake I did. So Jerm completely threw that perfectly and parked it. Easy tap and birdie.
So Dustin taking full advantage. That still turns over a little bit too much, but taking full advantage of the new rule that you can go anywhere back on your line after you've gone out of bounds. So rather than being tight to the wall, he took advantage and backed up. Randon waited for the gallery behind the basket to settle down and comes up just short. Easy putt for Simon. Tomorrow it will be easier.
Wow, I don't know how I missed that. That was truly mind blowing once again. I kind of entered a trance there where I was watching that. I don't understand. I think I was a bit annoyed by the people standing literally 2 feet behind me. They didn't really give me any room. But at the same time, I don't want to complain about anything like that. So I take exactly what I just said back.
All right, well, as these guys are going to clean up, I'm going to catch up with you. You had the hot round on the card.
Yep, shooting 8 down, improving 5 strokes from yesterday, so that was pretty good. But with 2 spit outs and 3 pretty simple putts missed,
All right, we'll get
Almost
the story
satisfied.
from you. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Here you are again.
I'm the disc golf guy, and that was my video blog. Simon, you cleaned up a few things. You went from a 3 under to an 8 under, but
Yeah.
you're still not happy.
It was a weird round. It felt so much better, especially the front 9, where I had like 6 or 7 birdies on the front, and 6 birdies on the front, and I still tied my score from yesterday. So I was like, what? It felt so much better, but the same score. And then the back, where I just went completely disaster yesterday, I was able to clean up, go bogey free, which was nice. I had 2 kind of sad spit outs and a couple putts that were just like barely trickled out left side. But other than that, I mean, 8 down solid, but not really what I'm looking for.
And unfortunately, as Paul Macbeth and the lead card are still out on the course, they've got a couple holes to play as we're finishing up day 2. Seems like Paul might be uncatchable. He's running away. He's like 11 under through 15 holes. So what are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do in the final round? What's the plan?
Not worry about Paul too
Okay.
much. I'm just
Okay.
going to try to enjoy it, try to improve once again. If I can improve another 5 strokes, then I think I will maybe have a chance to be on the podium. So that's my goal.
All right. Anything you want to say to everyone out there?
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. and good luck.
All right. Well, that's Simon Lizotte, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy. Thanks to all the supporters and sponsors here at Throw It on the Mountain, including our presenting sponsor in Discraft. If you like and put a comment down there of any kind, you're going to be eligible to win one of the new Discraft releases, and I'll be giving that out in the next week. For Simon and the Disc Golf Guy, we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.